morning, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity, Manoj. My name is Prashant Pereira. I am now 3 decades old in the BFSI industry, 25 years as a banker, and from there evolved into technology and quality and other aspects of it, and into multiple industries in the financial sector, from banking to mutual funds to securities, etc., and insurance also for a short time. And key achievements: launched India's first internet banking transactional website in 1999. 2000 launched first bill payments in India. 2001 launched the first bill payments company, billjunction.com in India. Launched the first debit card through which you could withdraw mutual funds. And also the first BI installation in India across 16 companies in Edelweiss.
Super. So you started your Viksit Bharat journey in 99 for sure, and probably the preparation went on before that. So that's lovely, Prashant. Ravi, can we have your financial milestones?
So, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Manoj, for the opportunity to be amidst all of the allied members present over here despite the heavy rains. To give a brief intro, started my career as a banker, started with State Bank. Some of them felt that not that banking job was good, but then promotions were not happening. Joined an insurance industry with a public sector company as a director credit officer, United India Insurance. Learned a lot of things over there. Then moved on to a multinational company based out of France, a company called AXA, which is global #1 in insurance. Had a fantastic experience with AXA, and in the last 5 years got totally transformed into digital side. So from the financial side, moved to digital, looking at how the world is moving. I thought I should get into the digital side. So in the last 5 years, I am into digital. Looking at the milestones, I would say that in United, I had the opportunity of being a faculty at the Management Training Center, this Officers Training Center, where programs were running continuously. That's something which we could design more and more programs suited to the industry, especially at a time when the liberalization took place. See, 2001 was the time when the private companies started coming up into the Indian market, and how PSUs have to energize themselves to beat the competition. 2007 was an interesting period where D-tariff came, and the effect of D-tariff is yet to leave the market. 2007, I quit United. I was a freelancer for 1 year doing management programs in Sri Lanka, Singapore, Dubai, and Indonesia. Well, compared to other markets, even the markets like Indonesia and Sri Lanka, they stabilized almost after 7 to 8 years in D-tariff. But unfortunately, in the Indian space, we are yet to stabilize. So 2007 was almost 2 decades. Prices are just going down. So insurers are finding it very difficult to manage. Now that's something which is a key story. Now this has given an opportunity for the international guys to get into the business. Last week, you would have seen some companies have got a license. And as a strategic advisor for insurers in Asia Pac and Middle East, some of the companies which have been talking to me, at least 7 foreign companies with 100% FDI is going to come to India. Almost 7. Now this is going to change the rules of the game. Now, coming to the personal achievement, while I was in AXA, I joined as a compliance officer. Compliance officer job, no, it's a generic thing. But then it's something very vital from an insurance space, especially like AXA. And I was an anti-money laundering officer for Asia Pacific. So that is something which made me do a course from Manchester University. Not that I wanted to do, but AXA made me do the course.
Okay.
And then anti-money laundering is one of the key areas which is developed long back, but today it's coming up in a big way in the Indian market.
Yes.
Because on the contrary, my experience with AXA was, the more and more you're compliant, you grow. Today they are #1 in the world, purely compliant. They were telling me, Ravi, let's not do business, but let's be compliant.
Okay.
That is the philosophy which AXA taught me. Let us be compliant. We'll automatically grow. If we don't do well, we'll move out of the country. This is something which I learned from them. Right? Now, on the personal side, 2013, I was moved out of compliance because that's the time digital transformation came into insurance. So the first year they gave me a target of 20 crores, which insurance system nobody buys. But when you say digital, how it will happen is what everybody was telling. And I didn't do anything. 2014, when the project came, I got an award, like a ceremony like this, 100 crores. Not that I did anything, to be frank with you. The younger generation started using only applications. They don't want any systems. That's where things changed. So, after 3 years, the group CEO said, Ravi, you're doing well, why don't you move to corporate sales? So let me try, from internal audit to compliance to corporate sales, let me try every role. So corporate sales also was again an interesting role, because like luck will follow me or I follow luck. COVID came. COVID people say unlucky, for me it was again, because till this time health insurance was not heard by anybody. Nobody wanted to. But the moment COVID came, health policies, group health policies, everything was going just like that. Without me going and selling in the market. There are big corporates just saying, we want top-up policies. So, same thing, I didn't do anything. I'm a lazy guy. Let me tell you, I'm a lazy guy. But luck was favoring me. One time, younger generation leading. And today is a world where India has moved towards that stage where maybe another 3-4 years, we may call it reels, we may call it whatever name that you may call it. Whether I feel that digital marketing is supposed to be the key thing. Incidentally, because of that, one of the companies made me as a chairman of an advisory board in Shanghai. So you talk very well on digital. I said digital is going to take over the world. Now, India is a pioneer in certain things in digital, not in everything. Certain things India has been a pioneer, but when you talk about UPI and all, I would agree because I do a lot of business in Africa. Africans came in digital, your UPI, much higher, paying for a tea, $1, whatever it is, called M-Peso, which is long back in Africa, 10 years ahead of Indian market. So this is something they just thought I could chat with the people. Now, a lot of things which are doing in the African market, when compared to Indian market, vis-a-vis the African market is something which I just thought I should share here as a personal thing. Again, we didn't do anything. Africans have never seen a laptop or desktop at all. All transactions were done manually. Suddenly when they saw app, they find app to be much better than using a laptop. So they are able to adapt all the apps very fast. So, achievement number 1, entire Rwanda insurance software is running on our platform. Entire Harare, that's Zimbabwe, is running on our platform. Now I'm doing something in Ethiopia, which I'm very confident about doing it. Next is Nairobi, that's Kenya. So this is where I've been moving on the personal side with that digital transformation. I think I will add a lot of things, but then I thought, yeah, thank you, Manish.
So that's an introduction to Ravi and to the insurance ecosystem as a whole, how it has evolved in India and in Africa. Now I want to focus on Viksit Bharat, because that is our thing. And when it comes to Viksit Bharat, I see 2 key components. And I call them the pillar and the wing. So the pillar is what gives you stability to keep moving ahead. And make sure that whether it is COVID, whether it is demonetization, whether it is AI, whether it is whatever, you don't go off track. Correct? That's what pillar means. And wing is what takes you to greater heights, like a bird does. A sparrow goes to a particular height, an eagle goes much higher. India, I think, needs to think like an eagle, or whichever bird goes to the highest. I'm not a bird specialist, but as a common man, I'm saying. So let's start again with Prashant. Prashant, what do you identify as 2 or 3 key pillars? Then we'll come to wings later. But what are the 2 or 3 key pillars that the financial sector can provide for India's journey towards Viksit Bharat?
Okay, I will not say pillars kind of scenario. In financial sector, as you can see, is we are a population of 1.47 billion. Okay? Banking per se is also, to the major cities and tier 2, tier 3 cities, it is going on well with all the like digital transformation, digital onboarding and other stuff. Okay? But majority of our banking still continues in the rural areas and stuff, which is more with cooperative banks as well as, UCPs for that matter, and rural urban cooperative banks. Now these are still in those age-old formation, some are still, computerized. Some couple of banks which incidentally I was called as an advisory, I found out that they don't even have a computer, it's still manual. In a lot of places like, Bihar, Jharkhand and other things, cooperative banks completely manual in today's age. Completely. Okay?
That's scary.
Yeah. And, when we talk about Viksit Bharat, we have to bring everybody on the same page. Okay? You can't have, some cities and some areas where you say that, okay, I'm doing this much, but that is only limited part. We have to cover the majority of the population. Okay?
Right.
And also one of the key things that happen is when we look at automation, okay, there are a lot of things across automation. We look at automation in isolation. Okay? We look at automation saying that, okay, let us automate this part of the process. But in today's world, it is all about orchestration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everything is, if you're looking at a complete digital onboarding process, then you need to, or a digital lending process, okay? You need to orchestrate the entire automation of every component that is part of the process. Okay? And that's where, a lot of people, a lot of fintech players can come together, collaborate. Okay? If you're talking about Viksit Bharat, then I feel that the key component in this is orchestration and collaboration. Okay? Because one company cannot provide everything.
Right.
Okay.
Of course.
And it is a complete ecosystem that needs to come together. And recently I was at the civil conference. Okay? The chairman of SBI also mentioned the same thing. Okay? Saying that if we want to deliver Viksit Bharat, then everybody in that ecosystem needs to come together to give a proper solution to the market. Okay? It cannot be done in bits and pieces.
Got it. So this is like another example of one nation, one platform, I guess, for financial, in a sense.
Not one platform,
But
yes.
unified.
Yeah, unified, or you can, ensure that certain components, like if you're looking at lending, can people come together, in a process, okay, whereby you can have the entire ecosystem. Okay, you have, LOS separate, LMS separate, ERP separate, SAP separate, and the factor is that when an NBFC comes into play, banks, though, of course, they have their own money. But if you're talking about an NBFC system, they can invest in technology from day one.
Right. Correct.
Okay, so they come up with just one or two softwares, and then they try to build as they grow. But during their journey, they have to multiple times change those kind of softwares to match the new aspect of it. Okay? So therefore, a lot of time goes into migration, data transfers,
Of course.
okay, and it delays the GTMs to the market. Okay? So when you bring about orchestration, you bring about solution that can integrate, unify, provide results, okay, whereby partnership brings in an entire chain of process put together. So this brings in a lot of cohesiveness, and you can come directly with a product and service with the complete automation itself, which will reduce cost and give you a faster GTM to the market.
Sounds good. Sounds interesting. Ravi, your take on pillars that we need from the financial sector for our Viksit Bharat goal.
First one, I would put it as innovation. We have been doing things the standard way, which have been for 50 years, 100 years. So we need to think differently, create new products, whether it is banking or insurance. Let's share the best practices from the international market as well as the domestic market. So innovation is something which we need to have. Second is pricing or economy. any product, if it is priced at a attractive rate, you get a lot of customers into your base. So pricing is something which we need to look at as a second pillar. And the third pillar is availability. When I say availability, it's about the distribution mechanism. How are we making our financial products available across the country? How the reach gap? Because what happens, people are talking about reaching everybody, but then what is missing is a last mile delivery. We talk in forums, we talk in various forums, this is what, but does the last mile delivery happen? There is a big gap in India. There is something which I feel the last mile delivery, especially when we try to insure some villagers. I happen to do a lot of NGO work on behalf of Christ University, Bangalore. We did one project, which is a 100% insured village in Kerala, for which we got into the Guinness books. 100% insured, which means life insurance, health insurance, as well as their property insurance. Every individual in the village had it. And what was really missing was banks are happy to do it, insurance company, but then for a 20 rupees they are not interested because they don't get what is there for me. But then with the help of student volunteers, getting an Aadhaar card for every small citizen, open a Jandan account. Today we can proudly say 5 villages in India we have done it, 2 in Jharkhand, 1 in Tamil Nadu, 1 in Kerala. So this is where we are moving towards. How far we'll be successful, we don't know. Some of the insurance companies have supported us. They said definitely we'll support you, Ravi. This is what, but this is a pure honorary work. What happens is bankers also don't get it because it's on the Prime Minister's scheme. Fantastic schemes are there. There are more than 1,000 schemes are there in India, but then people are not aware of it. Even if they are aware of it, paying 20 rupees for a particular insurance cover, people feel bad. That's the thing. So you have to educate them. So only student volunteers have been doing. Probably if insurance companies, banking companies all come together on these initiatives, we can definitely achieve Viksit Bharat.
And very good underlying principles that you have talked about, innovation, distribution. So Sundar, our question is this: in the drive towards Viksit Bharat, what is the role of the financial sector, and within that, what could be the pillars that ensures that our journey is not destabilized by anything, that we can keep moving and moving. What would be your perspectives on this?
I don't think I can less agree with my speakers, Prashant especially. I used to report to Nippon Life Insurance in Japan, and one of the highest persistency, 97%, 88% persistency, which means persistency means insurance customer would pay the premium again and again. If an insurance customer life insurance customer doesn't pay premium for say 5 to 7 years in a regular premium, then you don't make money. The insurance company doesn't make money. And the money sunk in the commissions and distribution costs and other costs that are paid. Now they found that the 97 came down to 93. And they were really worried. This is really bad. It has not happened in our history. They have 121 years in history. They're almost similar to LIC size.
Okay.
Yeah. So then they thought, what do we do now? And they did what Prashant said. They automated. So they had lots and lots of applications, and everybody goes through this journey, unfortunately, in the financial services sector. So they automated and put a single ERP. They spent about 1,000 crores in rupees terms in 2006 or 7.
Okay.
Integrating training, initial training to end to customer care management.
Okay.
All in one software.
All in one.
I've been to the place there and many times. Amazing. They had a robotics kind of a training center, made it online. Everything complete, integrated. So there is no disintegrated pieces, and they achieved back the growth from 93 to 97.
Back to 97.
Back to 97. Very, very tough in the life insurance terms, and actually normally plots around 70, 80, 75, 80. Today the private sector in India is about 80 to 90, in that range.
Okay.
Unfortunately, LIC is still in 65, 70 region, 72, 70. So this is where we have to grow, and very important
So there's
that we integrate platforms for the long term. They thought of long term. That's the best
Right.
part. 70% of the market is narrow, not like India. So the 70% of the market is from existing customers,
Right.
and 30% is the new customers. And they have challenges even now with competition because competition is tough, very very tough. And so it's always a constant plot of those figures. So enormous reserves they have reserved like crazy. So
Rich country.
yeah. So it's that kind of plot they have, and then they look at other pillars, governance and compliance and training and many aspects. India has other problems. India needs to be at 30 trillion by 2047.
Mm-hmm.
30 trillion is a long way up.
5 trillion to 30.
Yeah. So your remark about displacidness in growth is very, very important. We can't just let go the growth down
Exactly.
from 7%. We will have to grow at 7-8% GDP in the next so many years.
Keep growing.
Till 2030, 2004-7. 2000, now we are at 2006 to 7.
It's like asking a teenager to keep growing
Yeah,
into their
it's
30s
very
and
tough,
40s
very, very
at
tough.
the same rate.
At the same rate, 25 years. We have good choice.
Yeah, much less.
And then only we will meet somewhere where China is. I don't know where China would be. Today, US deficit is so much, 40 trillion, 30.
37.
So, their deficit is more than our 2047 GDP. So, I don't know whether they will manage. That's a big issue again. So, there are going to be several global issues: volatility, war risk, political risk, currency depreciation risk, which is around 30%
Yes.
every year. And all this plot, regulatory transparency is very, very important. If regulations go up, go down, go back, go down.
Mm-hmm.
You have this plot, a big issue.
Keeps making
Keep
moving.
regulations same for long term. Don't think about it as bad or go down. So many changes. You have circulars almost every day. I need to plot SEBI, IRD, RBI. Unfortunately, I'm a banker, mutual fund, and a insurance player. I used to be with 5 foreign banks, 2 mutual funds, and 3 insurance companies. It's crazy the way the changes are, and I need to plot that. I'm in consultancy, so you need to be one ahead of your players. It's very tough. It's crazy. So
Great.
you can't keep making changes like this. You have that unpleasantness in the growth somewhere, some place. The
Yeah.
good part is we are politically non-aligned to any country, any place in the world. We are peaceful by and large.
So certain areas we are very stable, and certain areas there's a lot of instability.
And infrastructure is a big issue. And the most important problem is what again was touched by Arjun on the Kerala, where the villages, very important financial issue.
Hmm.
The 20 rupees policy is a nightmare for me as an insurer.
Right.
We try to increase the insurance life policy per ticket from 20,000 to 40,000 to 60,000. Then only we have a profitable.
Oh.
Below 25, it's very tough to be profitable.
But you can look at, for example, in motor insurance, the third party is now minimum 3 years rather than
I'm talking
one.
life insurance. You come to
So
motor insurance.
I think we need innovations like those to overcome the
Absolutely.
friction for the small.
Can't agree. We have to be highly innovative, highly technology oriented, long term thinking, 20-year ticket. Think of 20-30 years and say this will be my ticket size. You will be burning in the first 3-4 years, but once you break even, you will never achieve a loss.
Great.
That's what we do.
Let's move on to wings now, and let's try to wrap it another 3 minutes each. So if you look at the world, US of course is riding on the wings of AI. How long those wings will support, people have different perspectives. But definitely what I'm saying is the world is thinking towards wings. People who want to move ahead, whether it's China, for their manufacturing became the wings that has taken China. For Japan, it was quality in the 80s, 90s. So different countries, different groups of people, different verticals, different industries. Everyone is looking for that wing that will take them to, that will help them grow much faster than the average, than the expected rate of growth. Please describe one or two wings that you think the financial sector in India can give to make Viksit Bharat, to, rather than drive towards Viksit Bharat, can we fly towards Viksit Bharat? One or two things that you think the financial sector could do or should do. We'll continue with the previous order. Prashant.
A very interesting question. Okay, I'll give you a very interesting analogy on this. India is a country with so many natural resources that we have itself not exploited to its extent. Okay, so we hold, our internal resources. If we can exploit that itself, it becomes one of the major wings. And I'll give you a classic example out of it, which you might find very interesting. Round about now, a lot of people are talking about gold loans. Okay, and a lot of banks seem to be certainly interested in the gold loans, which were traditionally the bastion of the Kerala market, Muthoot, Manappuram and other things. You'll be surprised that 70% is controlled by them across India. Okay. But you'll be surprised to know that in India, the total household gold approximation, okay, not what the government holds, okay, is about 35,000 metric tons. Okay, which is close to about 450 trillion. Okay, and how much is pledged as collateral? Not even 9%. So we are sitting on a huge cash reserve, collateral, okay, which people are keeping it idle in the house, okay, and not bringing out in the economy. Okay. Now imagine if this small percentage of 9% increases itself by about 10-15% more. Okay?
Right.
And this is something you don't need to go into personal loan, mortgage or whichever. Itself will bring your economy scale up. Okay?
And the good thing I think is this gold is distributed across the population.
Across the population.
It's not that only one city or one state or one community has it. This is being for all across.
Exactly. So imagine, everybody coming out like it was a hidden product which was there in every household, and we did not exploit it. Now, because of the rise of the gold, most of the banks and everybody's coming into the bank wagon, which is good. Okay. Because now you are giving something as collateral which was there, okay, and you are getting credit out of it. Okay. And you are pumping money into the system. See, in banking, okay, it is not about investment. It is all about earning money which can come only through lending.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Only when the bank earns, can the bank give you back.
Correct.
Okay? So when these hidden resources can be brought about, I think this is one of the fastest way to boost up the economy to that extent.
Superb example. And in fact, it's surprisingly a friend of mine had called me and asked, because I run banking frontiers, he asked me, where can I get a loan? He needed a quick 5 lakh rupee loan because he's got some project and he had to fulfill that. And he says banks are taking too much time and whatnot. I said, you have gold at home? He said, yes. You can monetize that, get a loan. I said, I never thought of that. So that's a problem. That literacy about gold loans is missing among a majority of the population.
I think the technology has evolved so much. Like we recently had a gold conference in Kochi. There was an ATM. Okay, some guys have developed an ATM where you can just go and place your gold. Okay, and that machine itself will evaluate and value it. Okay, and give you a loan. Plus, give you an option by saying that for this gram gold, for this particular aspect, Manappuram will give you this much, this bank will give you this much, Muthoot will give you this much, you can select. Okay.
Wow.
And from there, you could also get 25,000 in cash immediate and balance would be transferred to your account.
Super.
So in terms of technology also, we have developed very high on that front. Okay.
And I can add, I'm guessing, that in gold loan, perhaps India can be the world leader.
Absolutely.
I don't think any country has as much household gold as India
country,
does.
Yeah. And no country has this much gold reserve within its people, which can be used.
China published a report saying that 70% of world's gold is with India.
That's why we call Sone ki Chidiya. Ravi, your
They were really jealous.
future.
Having said that, it's a problem of mindset also. Would somebody give the gold for mortgage? It's a bit of a prestige value or whatever.
But I
It's
tell you, the younger generation is not that
younger
much
generation is not
attached
that
to
way.
the gold
Yes,
like
correct.
the older generation
Like
is.
the older generation. But the younger generation unfortunately spends money like crazy. So we have
You
that
can't have
problem.
everything. You can't say Viksit Bharat is only for this and this kind
Absolutely.
of behavior. So Ravi, your idea on that wing, one idea.
So, I would say, as you already said, artificial intelligence is going to drive the world, irrespective of any financial sector, manufacturing, agriculture. I am specifically using the word agriculture.
Yes.
Yeah. So, 35 years back, when my sister got married, for the wedding, if I was to get milk for all the guests and all coming for the wedding function, I had to book in advance with the milk agency and do it. I still remember those days. I had to go 1 month in advance and all. Today, yes, 1 month in advance. Yes, it was like that. That's what India is all about. We have forgotten the story. But today, India is the world's second largest milk producer. What happened? The white revolution happened by Mr. Korean. That's where things changed. And today, we are the second largest producer of milk across the globe. For a simple family function, we had to book in advance. Today, we have become. How this happened? A revolution. Agriculture revolution will happen in my personal opinion. That's where it's going to change the entire Viksit Bharat formula. The financial ecosystem has to support, be it banking, be it insurance, has to support this cause wherein we will be the world's biggest producers in terms of agriculture products. Simple things. Recently, for writing an article for Cathay Pacific In-Flight magazine, I went to a place called Tali, somewhere near Bangalore, between Bangalore and Hosur, where husband and wife who are working for Infosys resigned their job. They said we are getting 60 lakhs each, which means 1.2 crores. Today, every month, we are making 2.5 to 3 crores every month. They are just growing rose buds and they don't sell it here. The buds are exported. And 20 rupees is a cost which they sell it to a local vendor from Bangalore. The local vendor, 50 rupees, sells it to the US and UK or France, whatever it is. On a Valentine Day, it goes for $20, which is almost equal to 2,000 rupees. 20 rupees rose goes to 2,000. See the supply chain, see the infrastructure, it's all packed buds, roses. I'm just giving one example of roses. Multiple things, India has got the biggest agricultural resource, like Mr. Korean who did it for White Revolution. I'm sure somebody will do it. And that's why the banking and insurance ecosystem has to support. Yes, from an insurance perspective, I would have found a lot of things in their agriculture, insurance, their rugby. Similarly, banks also would have burnt their fingers, nothing wrong about it. But somewhere AI should help these things from detecting frauds, ensuring the growth. That's where agriculture, supported by the financial ecosystem, will make us reach. And if that happens, I'm sure that we don't have to wait till 2047, we can reach it much earlier. It's my personal opinion. Thank you.
Superb example. So gold and agriculture, two wings, which are so there but not in the front of the mind, I think. You have to bring from the back end to the front end to make that happen. Sundar, what is your example of a wing?
I think one of the areas is artificial intelligence. I think we could be a leading player in the world. Already we are. You know, all the top technology companies, I did a recently a review of the top, almost another top technology company in India. Spent about 10,000 crores per year. Last year, 10,000 crores was the expenditure on AI.
Okay.
So, you know, if the enterprise-oriented AI is thought about well, unfortunately, there's a myth that AI is going to replace people, which is not true. It's like computerization that happened, way back. 20, 30 years back. The computers come, there will be no jobs for the human beings. It's something similar. Actually, you need more specialists when AI comes. You need lots of specialists. You need a chief AI officer, you need an AI committee, you need an AI board, you need an AI security person, you need an AI president, AI specific data privacy officer, specific consents to be sought from customers. So that is the power of AI. And India is in the top 3 in AI. We just have to scale it up. You know what US is trying to do? They are trying to float 1 trillion IPOs, 4 or 5 companies, at least the first companies touching there.
Okay.
So 1 trillion, this is not joke. 500 billion is what they've already touched. That's the kind of valuation we're looking for, and the government is saying give us 5%. Anyway, because they have to have a big deficit and big thing to embark cross support. So that's going to scale up their economy. And look, if India adopts that quickly, which is government is trying to do, we would be far ahead, way ahead. China is there, US is there. So that's where we are, and that is a big area. And now the engineers in colleges are already AI experts. Believe me, all college persons are well versed with AI.
Right.
Not only generic AI, which comes when they are looking at having Claude programs written. Many companies in Bangalore have already finished off their annual budget by June. Annual budget, 6, 7 is already done. Writing annual programs. All this would compound the growth somewhere. Because you will have to look at that and you have to mold AI growth towards the country growth and integrate again. This integration is extremely important. If that governance is not there, then we would be in trouble. There will be investments that will misfire. But if we do that well, we would be far ahead.
Correct. So I think to summarize what our 3 panelists have said, they pointed out to something that is widespread across India: agriculture, board, your AI talent, every nook and corner of the country. They have pointed out to something that is India is rich in.
Just to add one more, mobile. Mobile technology is pervaded like crazy. You won't believe Panwala auto I pay through mobile. I don't use cash at all. I've not seen my purse for ages. So that is the pervasiveness of mobile all over the country.
Right.
Inclusion, the best means is mobile. So you do mobile banking, mobile mutual fund, mobile insurance possible.
Everything mobile.
Everything mobile.
And that's another thing, the 4th ingredient that India is very blessed in, that our mobile connectivity. I will not say the device, because devices are same all over the world. But India has taken lead in mobile connectivity. The way that we have gone from a telecom deficit country, where I had to book a telephone 10 years before I get one, to having one of the cheapest and highest quality bandwidth. If not the highest, but it's one of the best quality bandwidths. So thank you, gentlemen, for identifying these pillars and wings for Viksit Bharat. I'm sure your words will resonate across the industry, and they will reach to both the masses and the decision makers and help them drive these opportunities that can, and hopefully we'll all see Viksit Bharat in our own next few years if we can accelerate it as we are thinking we can. Thank you all very much. Can we have a round of applause for all our panelists?